All right, up next, let's talk about the guy projected at 55 by NFL Mock Draft Database, and that is Elic Ayomanor from Stanford. Like I said, projected at 55, so somewhere between 33 and 67 for the Browns. Ayomanor is 6'2", 206 pounds, 21 years old. He ran a 4.44 40-yard dash, 109 targets, 63 receptions, 831 yards, and 6 touchdowns in 2024. 244 yards after the catch, just 29% of his production, and just a 3.2 yards after catch per reception. He also had a very low yards per route run at 1.9, so he's under 2, which kind of moves him off of my board, but we'll see where he falls out in my top 10 at the end of this episode. He had a 14.2 ADOT, and he had 6 drops on the season. Now, the NFL draft write-up or draft profile says that Ayomanor is a Canadian-born wide receiver. Canadian-born, there you go, Kenny Mack. Thriller, you too. Canadian-born wide receiver with pro size and traits who is still in the early stages of his development. Ayomanor lacks suddenness and burst from his break points, leading to heavier contested catch totals, but he does a nice job with stemming coverage out of corner routes and slants. He has good build-up speed to work vertically and the strength to handle possession targets from the slot, but his ball tracking and catch technique need a major upgrade. Ayomanor has a good work ethic and the upside to continue developing. He could become a much more consistent player within 3 years. Now, I like Ayomanor, but I'm just not over the moon about him like I am with the guys like Trey Harris and Emeka Egbuka. Okay, over on Fantasy Pros, they got yards per route run was 137th in the nation. That 1.9 is very low. PFF receiving grade 84th, ADOT 50th, like just not the best numbers. Right up, Elic Ayomanor adds many of the little details to his routes that you look for with strong route runners. He has some variance in his release packages. He has good pacing and bend in his routes against zone coverage. He has a quick first step off the line at the top of his stem with comebacks and curls. Now, he still has some areas in his route running he can improve upon with leverage and timing. Ayomanor will telegraph his breaks at the top of his stem at times. He can also create more late separation with corners by selling his vertical push better or utilizing leverage better with in and out breaking routes. Now, overall, he has a solid down-to-down attack plan against the secondaries. The little nuances added to his game could help take it to the next level. Ayomanor is not a dynamic yak threat. He can produce some yak with his physicality and quick feet, but it's not going to be a hallmark of his game in the NFL. He has solid hands. Despite the 8.7 drop rate over the last 2 seasons, Ayomanor does lose some 50-50 balls in those situations or after physical hits from corners. Now, with his play strength flashing in other areas of his game, this is something he can improve upon in the NFL. Ayomanor separates well late against zone coverage. He sinks his hips well and gears down quickly for a receiver that's his size. Ayomanor also will flash the occasional special play as he adjusts to targets outside of his frame with some one-handed snags or back shoulder grabs. I have seen some highlights. The dude can make some plays. And again, he's a nice receiver, but he's just not at the top of my list for the Browns. But again, we'll see where he falls in my top 10 when we get there.